Hi, welcome. Many videos today are made using artificial intelligence, and this video is made using highly questionable intelligence. Jokes aside, I wanted to make a video explaining, well, these few things. I wrote them down because I am among the most absent-minded people that I've met. Basically, we'll be talking about prices. If you're curious about how prices are formed, why some things cost a lot more than the others, are Chinese tools super cheap for a reason, because they're bad, or something else? And I will also discuss affiliate marketing and influencer marketing. So those are some of the topics that I will explain in this video, in case that is of interest to you and it helps you when you're making buying decisions. Now, unlike most YouTubers who spend hours or even whole days doing research for videos, I happen to have a bachelor's degree in economics and under a decade of experience with influencer and affiliate marketing. So I hope that the information that I have to share will help other people and pass that knowledge and experience on. So after this huge long introduction, let us begin. By the way, this is BikeGremlin YouTube channel. For those who don't know, my name is Relja Novović from Serbia, Novi Sad, Europe, third big rock from the sun. And you will have to put up with my heavy Slavic accent and any background noises. This is a proper workshop where we are recording, no recording studio. So let's start now, finally. We will begin with the supply and demand graph, because I think that is important basic, but it's not be all and end all, and I will discuss further in the video some nuances and some caveats. So let us begin with the supply and demand graph. This is what I mean. We have the prices in dollars or whatever currency, and the number of units, regardless of what. We could be bicycles, bicycle parts, computer parts, services, goods, whatever. General principles are the same. So when the price is zero, we have a huge number of people wanting to buy it. So this red line is the supply, the demand curve. You will not say no to a free rear derailleur. Why not? And the supply is zero, unfortunately, because no one can make a profit for $0. As the price increases, the supply also increases. It starts increasing more slowly as it past a certain point, because of some physical limitations for most goods and services, not for all. Sometimes this curve doesn't look like this. It can be more like a straight, linear. And the opposite happens to demand. As the price increases, the demand is lower and lower, and past a certain price, no one will buy it, or just one or two people, so it becomes a luxury good. And at the place where the supply and demand curves cross, that is like an equilibrium and theoretical price point where there is no extra goods made without being sold, and there is no lacking goods for people who are looking to buy at a certain price. Of course, that's just a theory, and this is a moving point. Both the supply and demand can fluctuate and do fluctuate over time for various reasons. Seasonal, psychological, whatever. When we had that Kung flu, there was a huge demand for bicycles all of a sudden, and bicycle services, and so even though the prices went up, you could not find enough to buy when you wanted to buy. It was like a shortage of bicycle parts and bikes. So those things vary. It's not always ideal. And now for the demand, it does depend on purchasing power and other things like marketing psychology and so on. But in this video I will focus more on the, especially in this part of the video, on the supply part of things. And when we discuss that, this supply is depends on the cost to produce. Because if I will take an example, if I wanted to make and sell rear derailleurs for bicycles, I would need to cover all my costs and make a profit. Otherwise I would go to bankrupt, and it would make no sense for me to sell those. And so when we discuss costs, they affect the price, and they can be divided into two basic groups. One is fixed and the other is variable costs. Fixed costs are independent of the number of units that you make, and variable costs will vary depending on the number of units you make. So to make it plain and simple, practical example, I'm making rear derailleurs. I need to rent a place, a workshop, and put some machines inside, and that will cost me either a fixed monthly cost or a fixed cost if I want to buy it and own it, and maybe pay the interest rate to a bank if I took a credit and so on. But it's a fixed cost, and it doesn't matter if I make 1 or 1,000 rear derailleurs every month. That price is, and that cost is fixed. Variable costs, on the other hand, are like raw materials, a good example. So if I need to make one rear derailleur, I need, say, 100 grams of aluminum, plastic, steel, and so on. And if I want to make 2, I need double of that. So that changes as the number of units made changes and increases. And that is basically what I drew here. This is the total costs, fixed costs and variable costs, depending on the number of units. Now the fun part is when you try to establish the price of a unit to sell. When you're calculating per unit, then our fixed costs become variable, in fact, because if I make one rear derailleur per month and I'm paying a monthly fee for the workshop, I need to incorporate that monthly fee in the price of that rear derailleur, so that I cannot be running at a loss, so that I make some profit. But if I make 1 million, then only 1/1,000,000th of a monthly fee for the workshop place rent is incorporated into the price of one rear derailleur. So those will start to approach zero as you go, the fixed costs, as you go in a high series and sell a lot. But you need to make and sell a lot. There's no use in making them if you can't sell them. So we'll discuss that later. Variable costs, on the other hand, become fixed on a per unit basis, because you always need the same amount of raw materials and similar for each unit. So even if you make a lot more, you will still have that fixed or basically fixed. Sometimes you can, if you are buying huge amounts, get a bit better price, but those are minor differences, generally speaking. And that leads us to this is like a drawing of a price per one unit sold. And everything that goes into a price when you're buying a screwdriver or something like this, it's all in here. If you're buying bicycle, if you're buying computer software, whatever. And let us discuss this now a bit. So we have the costs that I've already discussed, the fixed and variable, but we have some other costs that can also be considered and viewed as fixed or variable, that are worth discussing, how do I say, explicitly. So research and development, that is basically fixed cost. If I wanted to make a rear derailleur, I would do some research, develop a model, and then after that I start manufacturing it, and I'm no longer doing research for every unit that I produce every hour or every minute. I've done it, created a model, and now I'm making it and selling it and marketing it and so on. So research and development is a fixed cost, and many manufacturers, most, will try to convince you using marketing, we'll discuss that later, that they spend a whole lot of resources, money, time, effort, and everything into research and development. That's one way of justifying huge prices, and it is often used, I would say abused, like manipulation, sort of, depending on how you look at it. So that's one thing where it's very, very, very easy marketing points, especially in the cycling industry. The next thing that is variable is the quality control. Quality control does appear to be variable cost, and the more units you make, the higher costs you have for quality control, because you need to make more samples, or if you are incorporating that into your manufacturing process, it's still, the more units you make, the more costs you can get with quality control. And in most cases it is a variable cost, which means that in a per unit price, it is fixed. Unlike research and development, which is reduced in a price per unit the more units you sell. However, the difference and an exception is the software. If you're talking about computer software, then of course you don't need to, it is just copied, one-on-one bits are copied, so no increases in quality control with more units you sell, so that's one exception. Maybe some services and similar, but generally. Distribution, the more units you have, the more cost you have for distribution, and generally distribution per unit is fixed because it is a variable cost, like this graph shows. And this leads us to marketing as explicitly stated marketing. Generally, marketing can be described as everything that a company or a brand does, or a manufacturer, in order to convince you to buy more of their goods or services at higher prices. That's basically marketing, and it does incorporate advertising and all other ways of trying to get more people to buy more of their stuff at higher prices. And if you do that very good, you will have created a brand. What is a brand? Everything that you register can be a brand, but when we say brand, we mean brands that are widely known and recognizable and so on. To be very blunt, if you approach a lady and tell her that you are good in bed, that is marketing or advertising. But if a lady approaches you and says, I hear you are good in bed, that is a brand. And every manufacturer is trying to make, practically every manufacturer is trying to make their brand become highly recognized, because that allows them to increase this section, the profits. They can have the same costs for everything else, but if a brand is widely known, people will be willing to pay a lot more for the same, practically, and the manufacturer or the brand will make more profits. So that's what it boils down to. That's why having a brand is important. I will show just a basic example. Here we have two cone wrenches, and when you look at them like this, this silver one is twice as thick compared to the black one. Basically, it's almost literally twice as thick. So in terms of material that went into it, in terms of strength and everything, for the same 22 millimeter diameter, this is a more serious, more stronger, more durable tool, I would say. But look at the branding. This manufacturer did make sure that their brand is recognized. If I make a video working with these tools, it will be clearly shown and so on. While this manufacturer did not do such a good job when it comes to branding, you almost don't see what it is and which manufacturer it is. So nothing for or against these manufacturers. This video is not about that. Just a demonstration, and the prices of this one does not cost the double of what this one. Even though the material used for this is practically double in amount, and it probably cost more, but that's just how things work. Capitalism, marketing, and market and sales and so on and so forth. Both tools are okay, though I would prefer the beefier one, of course, at a similar price. So that's just one practical example. And now we've discussed the supply and demand curve, costs, prices, and now I want to talk about influencer marketing. Influencer marketing, if you've been living away from the internet and a nice, healthy and happy life for the past decades, I will explain it for you. So basically there are some people who are more or less widely known, and companies will pay them money to advertise their products. Why companies do that? Well, if a company pays 1 second of advertising place in a TV program or similar, it will cost a huge amount of money, and it may or may not be profitable in terms of brand recognition and increased sales and so on. However, if a company pays money to an influencer, it can cost a lot less while bringing more sales. For example, I will use my experience because I do mostly videos about bicycles and mechanics. So companies that sell tools or bicycle parts or bicycles are happy to approach me and offer me a certain amount of money to praise their products, because they think that many people who watch my videos are mostly interested in that. They will appreciate my recommendation, take my word for it, and so for them it is a very cheap marketing to create a certain number of sales. And of course they do that at scale. I'm not the only person they contact and try to make such arrangement with. So that is the affiliate marketing, the influencer marketing. That's what it boils down to. So depending on the deal companies make, they can make it a lot cheaper to sell and advertise products. When it comes to affiliate marketing, that's a bit different. With affiliate marketing, it works like this. So I can take this screwdriver. I bought this screwdriver. I like this screwdriver, and for cross-tip screwdriver, this along with the ones made by Vera is my first pick, and it's what I use. And there's no more honest recommendation than that. And so I can post a link in this video's description for an Amazon shop where you can buy this. I bought this on German Amazon. It's not available in my country in physical stores, unfortunately. And so that would be an affiliate link, and what that means is that the price remains the same for you as if you went directly to Amazon. But if you click on my affiliate link, I get about 1% of the total price that you pay for the screwdriver. And for manufacturers, for this brand, that is a great cheap marketing, because they pay very little only when the sale is successful. If you don't go and don't buy, they don't pay anything. So it's for them it's a no-brainer. They pay just a small percentage and make a certain sale. And Amazon in particular is very fair in terms that if you buy and are not happy with the product and return it, I don't get any commission. So I think that's fair. So only if I make a recommendation that really is good and that you end up liking after you bought it, then I get a very, very small amount, and that's good. That cuts the costs of marketing for the manufacturer and allows them to increase profits. Of course, it would be very fair if using my affiliate links would result in, say, 5% discount for anyone that buys them, because the company would still be making a lot more profit compared to not using affiliate marketing and paying for TV adverts and similar. However, companies will not do that in practice, and they want just to get more profit, higher profit, and that's just how it works with the affiliate sales in practice. And I will now discuss briefly some I will discuss some shady practices now with the influencer and affiliate marketing before I go to very cheap tools and other stuff, cheap everything, Chinese stuff. But I am especially concentrating on tools because I got some recent offers and I want to discuss those. Anyway, so the influencer marketing. I'm curious to hear your thoughts especially in the BikeGremlin forum. YouTube comments are crazy and difficult to keep track of. I get a tempting offer to recommend and advertise a product, and to me that feels a bit dishonest, a bit like cheating. I'm happy to make an objective review to stress all the pros and cons, and that's okay, but I often get offers for money just to praise a certain service and product, and to me some people know about that catch, and you can see many YouTube videos and the websites advertising stuff. Some people know that it's just someone took money to say that. They may not really mean it, but some people don't know, and I'm not very comfortable with that personally. That's my choice. But that's how it works, the affiliate marketing. So when you have a sponsor for a video or similar, that means that sponsor paid money, and if influencer is praising that product, they may or may not really like it. They may have just taken money to praise it. Affiliate marketing is a lot more fair if done honestly and properly, because for affiliate marketing I can criticize a certain product saying it's utter rubbish and still use affiliate link. If you, regardless of that, want to pay it because it's very cheap or something, by all means go and buy it. And for me that's a no-brainer, and I use that a lot, but it too is often abused. I will explain how it is abused. Also, from my first-hand experience, I get offers where companies will pay me about 30% of the total price that you as a buyer will pay when you buy for using my affiliate link. So I have a 30% affiliate commission. That is huge. And that makes me question, is that product of poor quality? So they're giving me a huge percentage because they're cutting corners on quality control, research, and the materials used and everything else. So those things are a bit shady, and it's the commission itself feels unjust. I will probably never be rich, but it feels unjust. 5, maybe 10%, that feels okay, acceptable maybe, but 30 or more percent of the price that the customer pays just to recommend the product, to me that feels like robbery. But it is a common trend, and many big brands and smaller brands and everyone and their dog is doing that stuff. It's prevalent, it's ever present, and it is considered business as usual today in today's market for most companies and most goods and services. At least that's my opinion based on my education, experience, and knowledge, and so on. And this leads us to Chinese stuff. Some of my friends who work with bicycles bought some tools from AliExpress and Temu, T-E-M-U. And I recently ordered some stuff and still waiting for it to arrive. And how do I say? Some of those things are very simple and they work. And they cost about 10 or 20% of what some more renowned brands will charge for it. And I was curious to see, is that really very poor quality or is there something else? So there are several things at play there. One of those things is the commissions. Amazon shop takes over 10% commission from everyone who sells using that platform. Chinese platforms, again, this is as far as I know, take a lot smaller percent, and that allows the prices to be lower right at the start. So the window shops are not as costly. Next thing is the bulk distribution, because the Chinese shops are very good at organizing huge containers with many different orders and sending them in bulk. Not every manufacturer doing it on their own. So they have some of those huge marketplaces with very good organization, so they cut costs on shipping, and they don't take so much profits on a per unit. They take smaller profits, but go at a higher number of sales to make a total monthly or annual revenue increased, and they spend a lot less on marketing. Instead of paying TV adverts and paying famous sportsmen or celebrities, they contact people like me and say, we'll send you some stuff, make a review. That's it. We can't afford to pay you anything, low budget, but you get free stuff if you make an objective review. We don't insist. You don't have to. You can criticize and then anything else. And so I decided, okay, why not? I'm curious to give it a try, and I know that my friend Milos will make probably a video together. He got some things that are good, he got some things that are utter rubbish, and we have some idea about what has a chance to be good and what not, and similar. But so those things are different, and in a similar way, when I buy some things from big brands that are expensive, they are not always very good. Sometimes it's a hit and miss. The more you pay, the higher percentage is that you will get a good product, but it's not always the case, and there are many things here at play, and sometimes this section and even this one take a huge percentage of the total price that you pay. So you don't always get a very good research and development and very good quality or even material used for your price, and I think that's the whole video. I don't think I forgot to say anything, and so I want to thank you if you sat through this whole video. If you have any questions, please use the BikeGremlin.net forum. And I want to thank all the good people who support my work via Patreon on patreon.com/BikeGremlin. You can choose a monthly fee that works for you to support my work. That's appreciated. Thank you very much, and that's it. I will see you in some other video. Cheers, stay cool.